After that, we spent some time at the home of Gaius, my host, and that of the whole church. While we were there, we were persuaded to take our weapons with us and go to see if we might come across any who were enemies to pilgrims. We heard that there was a notable one in the region. Now Gaius knew the area where he lived better than me, so we searched and combed the area until we finally discovered the mouth of his cave. We were pleased and bolstered our spirits. We approached his den, and when we drew close to the mouth of the cave, we found he had dragged this poor man, he pointed to Mr. Feeblemind, into his cave by mere force. He was about to kill him. We decided to show ourselves, and when he saw us, he supposed us to be another prey, as we had hoped. He left the poor man in his hole and came out after us. So we pummeled him, and he vigorously fought back. But in the end we brought him down to the ground and cut off his head. We set it up by the wayside to frighten any others who would practice such ungodliness. And to prove I'm telling you the truth, here is the man himself who can affirm every word, for he is the one who was snatched like a lamb from the mouth of the lion. Mr. Feeble nodded his head. He speaks the truth, to my cost and comfort, to my cost when he threatened to pick my bones over and over again, and to my comfort when I saw Mr. Greatheart and his friends equipped with their weapons as they approached so near for my deliverance. Mr. Holyman added, there are two things people who go on pilgrimage need: courage and a life free from moral stain. If they don't have courage, they can never bolster their way. And if they live loose lives, they will make the very name of a pilgrim stink. I hope this warning isn't needed among this group, Mr. Lovesaint said. But really, there are many who walk the road who rather say they are strangers to pilgrimage than admit they are strangers and pilgrims on the earth. That's true, Mr. Dare Not Lie nodded. They don't have the pilgrim's clothing nor the pilgrim's courage. They don't walk with an upright heart, but walk in a way that is neither straight nor true. One shoe turns inward, the other outward, and their stockings are on the outside. Nothing but a torn rag to the ridicule of their Lord. These things ought to be disturbing, Mr. Penitent said, for the pilgrims are not likely to have the grace put upon them and their pilgrim's progress as they desire, until the way is cleared of such spots and blemishes. In this way, they passed the time talking until supper was set upon the table. Then they went in and ate. The meal refreshed their weary bodies, and they turned in for the night and went to bed. Now, they stayed in the fair a long time at the house of Mr. Mnason. Over time, he gave his daughter Grace to Samuel, Christian's son, to be his wife, and his daughter Martha to Joseph. The reason they were able to stay here so long was that things had changed from the time when Christian had visited the fair. Therefore, the pilgrims grew to know many of the good people of the town and did for them whatever service they could. Mercy, as was her custom, worked hard to help the poor, and their bellies and backs blessed her for it. She was an example to her profession there, and to tell the truth, Grace, Phoebe, and Martha all had an easy-going and pleasing nature. They did much good, each in their own way, and all were very fruitful, so that Christian's name, as was said before, was like it was alive in the world. While they stayed here, a monster came out of the woods and slew many of the people of the town. it would carry away their children and teach them to suckle its whelps. Now no man in the town dared to face this monster. All of them fled at the very noise of its coming. The monster was unlike any beast on the earth. Its body was like a dragon, and it had 7 heads and 10 horns. It brought great devastation and destruction to the lives of the children, and yet it was governed by a woman. And he carried me away in the spirit into a wilderness, and I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast, full of blasphemous names, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Revelation chapter 17, verse 3. This monster proposed certain conditions to men, and those men who loved their lives more than their souls accepted those conditions. So they came under the beast's authority. Now, Great Heart, along with those who came to visit the pilgrims at Mnason's house, agreed to go and engage this beast, thinking they might deliver the people of this town from the paws and mouth of this devouring serpent. So, Great Heart, along with Mr. Contrite, Mr. Holy Man, Mr. Dare Not Lie, and Mr. Penitent, went forth with their weapons to meet the monster. At first, the monster was unchecked. He looked upon the pilgrims with great disdain as enemies. With their weapons, they thrashed him until he retreated. Then they returned to Mnason's house. It is worth noting that the monster had certain seasons when he came out to make his attempts upon the children of the town. During these seasons, these valiant and important pilgrims watched him and continued to assault him. Over time, he wasn't just wounded, but became lame. As a result, the devastation of the townsmen's children doesn't happen like it used to. Some truly believe that this beast will die of his wounds. This made Great Heart and his fellow pilgrims famous in this town, even though many of the people still had an appetite for worldly things. They highly regarded the pilgrims with reverent esteem and respect. For this reason, these pilgrims were not hurt or put under much pressure. However, some of the more vile sort, who were as blind as moles and lacked understanding, still showed no reverence for these men and paid no attention to their valor and daring adventures.